Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about sources of aluminum you may find in your medicine cabinet. The first one you are probably aware of because it is well advertised. It is aluminum and antiperspirants. What you want to do is you want to look for an aluminum-free, and it's usually labeled deodorant. However, there is one thing that you need to be careful about, that some manufacturers have become very clever, and that they will put alum, which is an aluminum salt, in their deodorant. They will call it that it is a natural ingredient, which it is. It's natural, but it's a neurotoxin. As well as even one manufacturer will put on the front of it, there's no aluminum hydrochloride, which is one of the aluminum ingredients that they use. But on the back of the label, it says alum. So they trick you into thinking it may be aluminum free when it's not. So be careful. You do not want to use a deodorant with alum in it. The next source, which I don't have a product, is antacids. That antacids and the ingredient, the active ingredient, is aluminum hydroxide. You do not want to, a lot of people take it on a daily basis. This is something that you don't want to be doing. And it's really nice that there is an alternative. Calcium carbonate is used as an antacid. The other thing is, and I'll talk about this later too, is that you don't want to get an antacid that has a colorant in it, that sometimes the colorants will contain aluminum. Now, the next source, which I don't think you'll find in your medicine cabinet, but is cigarettes. And that, as you know, one of the lifestyle changes that they talk about that will reduce your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia is smoking. And the reason for that is cigarettes contain tobacco, and tobacco is a plant that is called an aluminum accumulator. So that then there is aluminum in your cigarettes, and when you smoke, you inhale them. The other worrisome thing is that a lot of people are now doing e-cigarettes to try to get themselves to stop smoking. There is a hazard with e-cigarettes in terms of aluminum, that there is a heating element that heats up the liquid in the e-cigarettes, and a lot of times the heating element is made of aluminum. So once again, you're being exposed to aluminum when you're trying to eliminate something that is not good for your health. The next thing that I want to talk about is cosmetics. That when I made my first couple of videos, I asked for some feedback from various family members. And one person said, you really should be using makeup, that they do that on TV. It makes you, come out more and stuff. And I was reminded of oh yeah, the reason why I'm not wearing makeup is because it is a challenge to find aluminum-free makeup. Well, with the help of some people in my Facebook group, I have found a lipstick that is aluminum-free. It's a pomegranate one. But yes, aluminum will be used in lipsticks because it fixes the colorant in the lipstick, so it will last longer on your lips. Also too, aluminum is used as an anti-caking agent in the powders and the foundations and things that you use. I'll be posting later a list of words to specifically look for in cosmetics. Now the next big one, pharmaceuticals. That it can sometimes be, aluminum can sometimes be an active ingredient, but most of the time where you want to be concerned about is the colorant. That a lot of the colorants are aluminum lakes, and that's something that you want to avoid. But one of the sources for me, which was an active ingredient, is when I get bitten by a bug, I get an allergic reaction and get these huge welts. And I used to use a product called Dumbaro. And when I went through my medicine cabinet, I was actually shocked to see that there was aluminum in it. And it's so effective when I have these bug bites. But aluminum is an astringent, and it was very, very effective. But I have found an alternative. I use Epsom salts instead of my Dumbaro. It does not work as good, but I really don't want to be putting aluminum on my bug bites. But one thing that I did find is I went and searched like various, like we take, cold medicine. I take motion sickness tablets. We also sometimes take Benadryl. So I had the challenge of trying to find aluminum-free products. And one thing is that CVS has a line that are health. So far, I have been able to find most of the products that have aluminum in them in the CVS Health. The other thing that I found is Benadryl, which are little pink tablets. But I did find one that they are now making that are dye-free. Some medications are going this route because there's been a push with children with autism to get things to be dye-free because they react to the dyes, of course, because there's aluminum in them. But Benadryl does make liquid gels that are dye-free. So we are putting pressure on these manufacturers. They are getting more products out there for us. And also, too, there's a couple of seizure medications where the active ingredient is aluminum. I'll also put a link to a website where you can look up the ingredients of all of the pharmaceuticals and see whether any of them contain the active ingredient of aluminum and or whether they have dyes in them, which are aluminum-like, which you'll want to avoid. Now back to alum. Some of the things that my friends have found in their medicine cabinets that contain aluminum is I didn't realize that aftershave lotion can contain aluminum, once again being used as an astringent. Alum is advertised as helping with canker sores. Also, too, there's a styptic pen that, if you scrape yourself while you're shaving and it bleeds, that will stop the bleeding really fast. That is another source that contains alum. And one of the things that I learned when surfing the web is that some vaginal douches contain aluminum. I was so alarmed when I learned this, but so there are a lot of sources out there. So look for the word alum. It is an aluminum salt and you want to avoid it. Now, sometimes some of the dandruff shampoos will have aluminum as an ingredient. And that some soaps will have aluminum also. One person from the UK said that a major brand of soap had aluminum in it. I buy the same brand here in the United States and it didn't have aluminum. Usually it's the opposite. Usually Europe is much better at banning these things than the United States. Now, one thing that some of you may know is that my husband has written a lot about detoxing, obviously aluminum, but also to mercury, lead, and arsenic. And I've been in some detox groups to help people learn the information that my husband learned. And one of the alarming things that I found out was some of these products contain zeolites. I shouldn't say a lot of them contain zeolites. And unfortunately, my husband and I did some research on this, and zeolites, when you ingest them, in the pH of your gut, the aluminum is released. That zeolites come naturally with aluminum, and that unfortunately in the pH of the gut. So here these people are detoxing their bodies, thinking that they are removing the toxins and becoming healthier, when all they're doing is adding a neurotoxin to their bodies. I get so angry at these companies. And also too, a lot of people use bentonite clay and diatomaceous earth. That aluminum is in the Earth's crust. It's a very abundant mineral. And so that anything, like soil, etc., diatomaceous earth, the bentonite clay, those are all going to contain aluminum, and that unfortunately they are released when it does get down into your gut. So please be careful of those products. As well as I'm going to be doing a video on how to safely detox called Targeted Detox, so stay tuned. The other thing that we found is a lot of people, because they're worried about the quality of their water and stuff, will do like RO water or distilled water and add a mineral supplement to it, like a liquid one. And Dennis did some research on this, and these minerals are gotten from, for example, the Great Salt Lakes. There's a lot of aluminum in there. So, they're not going to be able to remove the aluminum before they put it into these products. There's safer ways to add, like calcium and magnesium are the two major minerals that you want to add back to your water. And there are safer ways, and that's actually discussed in Dennis's recipe for making your own silica water, Silicade. Now, the one thing that is a major source for folks that you won't find in your medicine cabinet, but it has to do with the medical profession, is vaccines. Aluminum is used as an adjuvant in vaccines. It makes the vaccine more potent. Now, not all vaccines contain aluminum. There's only some that do. The COVID vaccine, the flu vaccine, does not contain aluminum. One of the ones that contains the highest is the DTaP, which is the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussin. But one of the things that's where vaccines are so concerning is that the number of vaccines that are given to children now, they're giving more, as well as that the majority of them contain aluminum. Some of them don't. So just be aware of that and make a very a good decision when you're trying to protect yourself from things, but also too knowing that aluminum is in the vaccines. The other thing is that there has been some research where they have found aluminum in infant formulas. It hasn't been determined as to what the source is, but it looks like it is probably from the soy that they use in infant formulas. And there are a lot of infant formulas now that contain soy. So if you do have a family member, or if you have an infant, that may be something that you want to look into. The testing was done on products in the United Kingdom. And just one other source that was found by some people in my group is that hot water heaters can have an anoid made out of aluminum. She found out that her camper had a hot water heater, and it was really easy to do that. She replaced the anoid herself. I don't recommend you folks doing that, but you may want to check out the hot water heater that you have in your house and make sure that it's not an aluminum anoid. Now, what I will do is I'll show you the list of words to look for in terms of the pharmaceuticals and things. But what I will do is in the comment section, I will put a probably a photo of those. And okay, yeah. So here's this sheet. And so just in case you want to, as you're listening to the video, want to take a picture of that. Of course, alum is on the top of it. But there's many compounds that are made with aluminum that are in these products. So, well, thank you for watching, and I'll be making some more videos. Thank you.